News at 10. First, the highlights. Lagos State Government sues Clubhouse for violating traffic regulations. Nigeria, Kuwait deepen ties in education, food security. And foreign in China reports more than 7,000 cases of mosquito-borne virus. And in sports, President Tinubu rewards Nigeria's women's basketball team, the Tigress, with $100,000 each. National honors for Afro-Basket victory. And now the details. I am Mike James. Lagos State Government has sealed the clubhouse located in Adeola Odeku Street, Victoria Island, over a protracted violation of traffic regulations. The enforcement was carried out by the Lagos State Traffic Management Authority, LASMA. LASMA General Manager Olalekan Bakaruki led the agency's rescue and compliance unit following the club's habitual and defiant infringement of established traffic laws, particularly its persistent facilitation of illegal roadside parking and flagrant encroachment upon public highways. Bakaruki stated that the enforcement initiative marks the beginning of a sustained compliance campaign and monitoring of other clubs, event centers, lounges, and recreational facilities, especially those that persist in impeding traffic flow by commandeering public roads. He reiterated in the strongest terms the agency's zero-tolerance policy towards any person, corporate body, or social enterprise that constitutes an impediment to traffic orderliness or endangers the commuting public. The Lagos Government, through the Office of Sustainable Development Goals, SDG, and in partnership with Africa HCD Plus, has commenced the second phase of its Women Empowerment Program, aimed at deepening financial inclusion and economic resilience for women across underserved communities in the state. Designed to empower residents, particularly women, with practical knowledge on financial planning, digital banking, saving culture, and access to formal financial services. The initiative will equip participants with the tools needed to make informed financial decisions, build sustainable livelihoods, and contribute meaningfully to local economic growth. The outreach, which is part of the state's broader human capital development strategy, has empowered 400 women across selected underserved areas, targeting grassroots communities in Surulere, Papa Shafa in Agege, as well as Jede and Agura Berigbe in Ikorodu. Beneficiaries were sensitized with practical knowledge on budgeting, savings culture, digital banking, financial planning, and access to microcredit facilities. The outreach also emphasized the importance of safe investment options and how to leverage technology for smarter money management and long-term financial stability. The Benue State Government has introduced drone surveillance services to monitor security and humanitarian conditions across communities and internally displaced persons camps in the state. Executive Secretary of the Benue State Emergency Management Agency, James Iropu, announced this during the launch of the state's electronic emergency management system. Iropu said these drones enabled situational reports will be available to the public on all digital platforms, ensuring transparency, accountability, and faster mobilization of aid and partnerships. He urged resident, diaspora communities, humanitarian partners, and patriotic stakeholders to adopt and rely on the new digital emergency platforms while warning against unofficial or politically motivated information sources. The federal government says it recorded significant results in the recent onslaught on criminals and bandits across the country. It made this known while unveiling some achievements recorded in its nationwide security anti-corruption efforts, including the recovery of over 21 billion naira, neutralization of 78 terrorists, and the prevention of losses exceeding 319 billion naira in fire-related disasters. The revelations were made at the August edition of the monthly Joint Security Press Briefing held at the National Orientation Agency NOA headquarters in Abuja. NOA Director General Lanre Issa Onilu said the government, under its program themed Disrupting Criminal Networks and Securing Communities, has made a series of arrests, dismantling trafficking rings and rescuing kidnapped victims. Issa Onilu said the results of the security and paramilitary agencies reflected a shift toward more tactical and intelligence-led operations. He said the administration is working to build a more responsive and coordinated security system. And now to the rest of the stories. Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs Yusuf Tugar has met with the Director General of the Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development, Walid Al-Bahar, to discuss strengthening development cooperation between both nations. The high-level talks held in Abuja focused on expanding strategic partnerships in critical sectors such as education, food security, and infrastructure. Welcoming the Kuwait delegation, Tugar highlighted the historic relationship between Nigeria and Kuwait, which dates back to the 1960s. He commended the Kuwait Fund's ongoing contributions to social and economic development across the global south and reaffirmed Nigeria's readiness to scale such impactful collaborations. The minister emphasized Nigeria's key development priorities under President Bola Tinubu's renewed hope agenda, particularly infrastructure renewal, youth empowerment, and human capital development. He cited the Reaching Out of School Children initiative in Kaduna State, supported by KFED and UNICEF, as a model of success in the education sector that could be replicated nationwide. Tugar proposed joint efforts to modernize agriculture through investment in irrigation systems, agro-processing facilities, and technology transfer, leveraging Kuwait's expertise and interest in sustainable food systems. The federal government says it is working towards a renewed target of moving about 5 million homes to clean cooking by 2030. Minister of State, Petroleum Resources, Gas, Ekperikbe Ekpo, made the declaration while delivering the ministerial address and remarks at the 48th Nigeria Annual International Conference and Exhibition 2025. This year's conference is themed Building a Sustainable Energy Future, Leveraging Technology, Supply Chain, Human Resources and Policy. Ekpo explained that the target can only be made possible through increased investment in gas infrastructure, in critical projects such as the OB3 and AKK pipelines, progressing to deliver gas to market nationwide, and promoting modular and scalable gas projects, including mini LNG and CNG stations. According to him, the government is also ramping up efforts to improve last-mile access and stimulate local economic activity and facilitate job creation through strategic public-private partnerships in the construction, logistics, and retail segment of the gas value chain. Kano State Governor Abba Yusuf has flagged off the distribution of 5.5 million tree seedlings as part of his administration's renewed push to combat desert encroachment and promote environmental sustainability. The governor said the tree seedlings would be distributed across all 44 local government areas of the state and shared further with schools, communities, and relevant institutions. He said his administration had already rehabilitated 2 major nurseries in Gwazo and Gaku local government areas to revive tree planting efforts across the state. Yusuf directed all local government chairmen to immediately establish tree planting committees within their agriculture departments, and also mandated that tree planting be extended to schools, religious centers, and major roads to support a cleaner, greener, and healthier environment. And in some foreign news, more than 7,000 cases of a mosquito-borne virus have been reported across China's Guangdong province since July, prompting measures similar to those taken during the COVID-19 pandemic. In Foshan City, which has been hit the hardest, chikungunya patients must stay in the hospital where their beds will be protected with mosquito nets. They can only be discharged after the test negative or at the end of a week-long stay. Spread through the bite of an infected mosquito, the virus causes fever and severe joint pain, which sometimes can last for years. Although rare in China, chikungunya outbreaks are common in South and Southeast Asia and parts of Africa. Authorities have vowed to take decisive and forceful measures to stop the spread of the disease, instructing residents to remove stagnant water in their homes, such as flower pots, coffee machines, and spare bottles, and warned of fines up to $1,400 if they do not do this. Meanwhile, the United States has urged travelers to China to exercise increased caution following the outbreak. Over to sports news. President Tinubu has announced a cash reward of $100,000 for each player of the Nigeria's women's basketball team, the Tigress. The announcement was made on Monday as the president, who was represented by his vice, Kashim Shettima, hosted the team at the presidential villa in Abuja, celebrating the outstanding performance that secured Nigeria's fourth consecutive Afro-Basket title. Also, members of the technical crew will receive $50,000 each in recognition of their role in the team's success. President Tinubu praised the team's resilience, discipline, and representation of Nigeria on the continental stage, describing them as role models for the nation's youth and a symbol of national pride. The Tigress defeated Senegal 78-64 in a thrilling final to clinch the 2025 title, extending their dominance in African women's basketball and reinforcing Nigeria's status as a basketball powerhouse on the continent. That was our news at 10. Just before we go, slow down at road junctions, intersections, and pedestrian crossings. You can follow us and like all our various social media platforms: X, Traffic Radio 961, Facebook, Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM, Instagram, Lagos Traffic Radio 961. Subscribe and watch our news and programs live on YouTube, Traffic Radio 961. Visit our website www.trafficradio961.ng. I can also listen to Lagos Traffic Radio live on my Lagos app for timely updates. Did you know that the Sanwo-Olu administration rescued 48,000 households from poverty through various social intervention programs, under which women got cash transfers and acquired skills? We can get more details on the Legacy Government website. To end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Legacy Government has sealed the clubhouse located on Adiola Odeku Street, Victoria Island, over protracted violation of traffic regulations. Nigeria's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Yusuf Tugar, has met with the Director General of the Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development, KFED, Walid Al-Bahar, to discuss strengthening development cooperation between both nations. And we also told you that more than 7,000 cases of a mosquito-borne virus have been reported across China's Guangdong province since July, prompting measures similar to those taken during the COVID-19 pandemic. And in sports, President Tinubu has announced a cash reward of $100,000 for each player of the Nigeria's women's basketball team, the Tigress. And for contacts with the newsroom, send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. That ends the news broadcast. It was compiled by Abiola Fagbolagun. Thank you for listening, Lagos. My name is Mike James. Good morning to you.